Yeah, hello. Welcome, Vince. Nice to see you. Let me know if the music is too loud. I was just adjusting the settings a little bit. I changed the volume control in the player. I'm not sure if it translates to the volume in the Stream Deck, the OBS. So let me know if the volume is too loud or too low for the background music. I just wanted to have in the background so my voice is clear. So today I'm gonna be painting. I have quite a number of landscapes, 5 actually, that I want to try to finish. One of them is a commission job I got. I got contacted by a guy that wanted to give his father a landscape of his farm area. I, of course, exported that area out and printed, and I'm gonna paint on this stream. I'm not taking that one to Earth because that is a different. It's gonna be. I'm gonna selling it like on a commission, so the other ones are gonna be brought over to Earth. I'm gonna have a table there, laying them out, and before I go home, I'm gonna give them out to people. I'm starting to build up a list of people that I want to give out. I try to keep track of who gets a landscape. At Earth, I gave away about 20 landscapes. At Earth last year, about 10, I think. And then I also have sent out just via mail probably 20 landscapes or so. So it's quite a number of people that have gotten a landscape. I try to keep track of it. But, like both at Earth last year and Earth, I had a few people listed out that I wanted to give out a landscape, but then I couldn't find them when I was giving out on the last day, so I found some other guys to give out the landscape. I don't want to bring them back because I will fill my suitcase with filament and whatnot. I buy at Earth, or some filament I was given to as well. Like at Earth, I got quite a number of rolls from filament manufacturers given to me. To have space in the suitcase for that, but I'm just gonna start painting the first landscape. This is a familiar area to me. It's a farmland area up in the north part of Iceland. Okay, I'm gonna lower it a bit. Okay, now I changed the volume of the music, so let me know how that is, because I don't want to have it too loud. just when I'm not saying anything, there is a little bit of music in the background. But this area is in the north part of Iceland. It's a farmland area. That's where I grew up, so it's close to my heart. This area, we had a farm here with sheep and cows and whatnot, and the sheep were going up in the mountain area. We had to get them in the fall and bring them down to the farm to harvest the lambs. I'm just gonna start painting. Most of this area is just green farmland, and cool. Thanks for letting me know about the music. I don't want it to be overcoming. It's just a royalty-free playlist I got on Spotify. It's mostly just some loops and like elevator music and whatnot. For most parts it's green farmland. The mountains are rocky, like mud and rocks. There are no glaciers in it though, but I sometimes put a little bit of snow in the mountain. I printed this landscape out several times. I have the G-code just in the Octoprint folder for my CR10. I just hit print, but now, as some of you might know, I don't have a CR10 anymore. That was quite a mess. That video I did. I released the video yesterday morning and posted links to it on the Facebook groups for Creality. bananas. It turned into a shit show in all the forums. The comments on the video as well just turned into a shit show. A lot of people not getting my point and making an argument not based on the content of the video, just based on the fact they didn't like that I took my CR10 apart and didn't continue using it. So it was not very educated comments for most part. Some people also thanked me for doing the video, saying that it was good that I shared my experience. It would help others to make a buying decision, mostly be aware of what it means really to buy a printer from China. Not expecting support and such. If that helps one person doing the informed purchase decision, then the purpose of the video is done. Just want to share my experience to help others. That's a goal for that video. I got an email from Creality saying, thank you for being somewhat nice to us and not completely burn us down. That was quite funny. Yeah, that was yesterday. Quite busy day on the Facebook forums and Twitter as well. To some point, Twitter was much easier, but the Facebook forums are quite. There's so many people that make a statement without reading the original post in the thread and without checking the video that I was talking about in the thread. There's not very educated comments. That was quite funny to see how people made all kind of statements based out of no information, basically. It's not very scientific. Yeah, but since I don't have a CR10 anymore, I'm not going to be able to print the landscapes as big. That will maybe change at some point. At some point I will miss it to have a big printer and will buy some big printers again. What I did today was I made an order for the Helico Mars, the resin printer. I really want to try it out and see how it goes for me. It's maybe gonna be difficult because of the fumes of the resin and isopropyl alcohol here in the living room. But if I have my balcony door open and make sure my cat isn't gonna be trying to lick the resin, then it might work. I decided to buy the Mars because it's not so expensive, and if I can't use it here, I can just sell it here in Iceland. There are probably some people that are willing to buy it if it's new, and if maybe after a few weeks I decided to sell it. But if it's gonna work out, I'm gonna try to make some more gum body models printed out in resin. Look forward to test that out and paint them. I made a agreement with Gum Body that I can get their models to do videos on. So if I get a model from the website and do a video on it, I don't have to pay for the model. And I think that's pretty fair. I'm not like a big channel expecting them to pay me money to feature the models. But if I can get the models without paying for it, that's a good deal for me. So that will save me money, because like all the Star Wars models, I bought those models and it's summing up to quite a number of dollars, so to speak. Yeah, you have to be careful with the resin. You have to like constrain yourself a little bit when you handle it. I'm gonna try to have just a designated area on where the CR10 sat here behind me. So if I can have the resin and cleaning bath and all that just locate there, then I can just move it from the printer to a plate there. Then I can take the build plate, move it into the isopropanol alcohol, and clean it off. Yeah, I got a subscriber, Svein. Yeah, this is my uncle. He's my relative. Hi. Yeah, I posted links on my Facebook, and most of the people I have on Facebook are my relatives and friends. So, yeah, so Svein, if you're watching, here is Ystafell. This is where I grew up. So I'm starting to get the base colors, just the green. I'm gonna add in browns in the mountains. I've been all over this mountain area, both when finding the sheep during the fall, but also just hiking. I really enjoy going there when we had the farm, going up in the mountain, hiking and taking photographs and just walking around. Hey. Yeah, hi John, nice to see you. Yeah, hi Don, how are you doing? Yeah, Don, you saw what the post on the Facebook groups yesterday turned into a shit show very quickly. It was quite a mess. I'm adding some yellow into the browns to lighten them up. Start to blend it as well into the green. If you watch my streams before painting, I tend to paint push the green or lighter colors up the mountains. The dark from the mountains like a green, brown and dark down into the green. Yeah, I'll look forward to see your turf. You're the guy that made that really tall printer with a adjustable build plate that you could raise the build plate, right? I'm getting that right. It's quite amazing machinery. Also, this Fortnite. Yeah, I'm creating a real life map for Fortnite. It's gonna be a horrible battle at some point. But no, it's not Fortnite. That would be cool to like 3D print and paint, and then like use photogrammetry to scan the model in with all the colors and create a game map. I guess that workflow should be possible. It would be interesting to use as a base map of a familiar area. Yeah, correct. Crazy moving bed. Yeah, that was quite a machine. It's always nice. Like always, I've gone 2 times, one at Earth and one at Murph. But there are so many people doing so amazing machinery that you would maybe not normally think of. Okay, this is something most people are going to do, but nevertheless, it's cool mechanics and engineering and works for people. And it's a great venue to see all the crazy stuff, so to speak. Now I'm adding in some more yellow to both lighten up the greens and also lighten up the browns. I have no idea what Creality is going to do. I'm not asking them for a new printer, to be honest, and I don't expect them to send me anything. All I want really from them is a statement on my experience with having poor quality control and lack of support. If they make an official statement, like I asked them, I'm gonna push that to my viewers via Twitter or YouTube, but I'm not asking them to send me anything. If they want to like, hey, give us a chance if we send you this printer, I'm gonna test it out, but that's not what I'm really wanting or asking for. It's not my goal, so to speak. But it's up to them. Yeah, the data. Actually, what I do for work or like a secondary job, more of a like hobby / job, is I create maps for Iceland. And I'm gonna send you the link. Here's a link to my website where I have a map of Iceland, and I do this as a secondary hobby job. I sell those maps to be used offline in mobile devices, laptops and such. And in that mapping project, I have created a set of data for Iceland based on all sorts of sources. There are quite a number of sources where I get the data, and my work is to combine all the data into a usable map. And so I create my data set, and I have a software called Global Mapper. It's a commercial mapping software. It's like a professional suite of software. And through that software, I can export an area out to a STL file. You can find somewhere on the web like Terrain to STL, like online web services. That is normally using a data set that is, let's say, maybe 10 to 20 times more or less detailed than the data set I have. So my data set is extremely detailed for Iceland. like a STL file for this landscape is over 1 gigabyte STL file. So it's extremely high detail. That is what I use for Iceland. So it's not something I can just link to, so to speak. I create those maps to be used when you don't have an internet connection up in the mountain. You can have an offline version of those maps. Search and rescue personnel and the Coast Guard, they use my maps to save people. I'm part of the search and rescue team here in Reykjavik. Yeah, the Netherlands is quite flat. It's when I export the terrain, I try to find terrain that has a little bit of mountain area and glaciers and such, so the paintings will have more life or dynamic colors and such. Squeezing the last color out of this tube. Sorry, headphone users. Putting in a little bit of red, just blending in with the brown. Yeah, yeah, we have a set of Icelandic only characters in our language. So some of them are familiar or common used with some other Nordic countries, but some of them are Icelandic only. They can be found in extremely old set of character used like by the Vikings that we still use, but other Nordic countries have stopped using them, but we still have them. So we have quite a number of special names. So this is gonna be a summer version of this area. At summertime, all the snow is melted in the mountains. Maybe like in the highest canyons, there might be still snow in the last days of summer. Yeah, hi Chris, thanks for joining in. But for most part, the snow melts. paint in a little bit of blue. There is a small lake in this area, also a river going through here. The river goes a little bit all over the place here. I'm gonna just put in a little bit of blue. Just gonna grab a brush. Hi, Michael Fox. Thanks for tuning in. Doing my usual painting job. Painting in small details on this map. There's a small lake in this area. Try to get the river in here to some extent. This river is a glacial river coming from Vatnajökull. Vatnajökull is one of the is the biggest glacier in Iceland, in Europe for that matter. So it's quite big. This river is quite long. It's far away from the glacier at this point. Quite a number of beautiful waterfalls in this river. One of the most famous waterfalls in Iceland, even. So if people come to Iceland and travel into the north area, they're definitely gonna see one of the waterfalls in this river. It's quite nice waterfall. So I think with this is gonna be it for this model. I'm not gonna put any snow in the mountains because I have so much greenery. It's gonna be a high summer season for this landscape. So I'm just gonna move on to the next one. This one is a glacier mountaintop, a mountain with a glacier on top, called Skaftafellsjökull. Quite a short, nice name. Here's a lot of lava and ice. There's not much of a like green farmland. There's a small town in this location here. another town in this location, but mostly this is just lava fields, and some are relatively new lava, so it's black, and some has been there for a long time, so it's somewhat green. But there's also like geothermal activity, so there's quite a lot of different colors, blend of brown and green and yellow and all sorts of colors. Then there's a coastline here around it, the ocean, Atlantic Ocean. I just typed in the name of the glacier so you can try to pronounce that. That would be quite funny. Snæfellsjökull. Yeah, hi Mario, welcome. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, we are cooking a volcano. This is a volcano in Iceland that has a glacier on top. So if it erupts, it's not going to be very nice. I'm trying to get all the colors in this landscape into it. It's quite a variation of colors in the lava fields, and there's also geothermal activity that gives that special colors as well. Slowly building up some contrast into the mountain. adding in a little bit of red and yellow. It's common with areas with geothermal activity to have some blue color in it as well. Just a rock formation with a sulfur going through the rocks. It creates red and yellow and blue colors. I think I have the mountain itself covered. Maybe paint in the white glacier part. Gives those mountain tops a little bit of contrast as well with the black. This is as well gonna be a summer edition. Sometimes it works just out that this will be a summer edition, and sometimes it works out to be a winter edition. Just happens really on the fly. Yeah, Area 51, it's too flat. It's too flat to be interesting. I have to have mountains and glaciers and fjords and all this. If I do like a too big of area, everything will be flat because it's in scale. I don't exaggerate the height. Yeah, hi Oscar, hi, welcome. Yeah, so the east, west, north, south, up, down is in scale. So if I select too big of an area, the height of the mountains will be very little or small in the print, so it's not going to be much of a 3D landscape. Like if I would take all of Iceland, it would just be a flat piece of plastic. So I try not to do a too big area. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, man. I'll see you at Earth. Look forward to see what you have. Yeah, flat is interesting. Yeah, yeah. For most parts, Iceland is mountain area, like all the farms and where people live, all the towns is around the coastline. In some areas, the farmland goes a little bit inland, but it's not like huge plain of flat land. That is farmland. It's mostly these mountain areas, and up in the highlands, we have roads and huts and such we travel to in the summertime and also in winter in the snow. Like we have 350,000 people here in Iceland, and approximately 200,000 of them live here in the capital area. Then there are a few towns with like maybe 10,000. Yeah, take care, Court 3D Tech. See you at Earth. Yeah, we have and it's quite common. We have towns around that are like fishing town mostly, and maybe have 1,000 people living in it. 1,000, 2,000 people. Like the biggest town that's not in the Reykjavik area is Akureyri. That's in the north. I think they have 16 or 17,000 people. So now I have the glacier, and now I'm going to paint the ocean using the blue and mixing it a little bit with the white. Just to, I don't want to have a completely uniform color, so the white and blue, I don't mix it too much. So add some characters, the sea. Just following the coastline. It's quite visible in the model. Uh, Sometimes the coast is difficult to see in the 3D model. I have a aerial photo or satellite photo on the screen to compare to find where the coastline is. But for most parts, this model is so that the coastline is visible in the 3D model. So it makes it easier. most parts I'm trying to concentrate on the coastline. So I stop talking while I'm concentrating. Extremely. I'm not very talkative, just talking to myself, so to speak. So if chat slows down, my talking slows down as well. Hi Branson, the paints I'm using, it's Panduro, just acrylic paints. It's just a hobby paint. It's not like a expensive brand or anything like that. It's just plain acrylic paint. You would give your kids to paint. I buy it at a local hobby store and it works quite well for me. A good selection of colors. So I got all the colors I've ever needed from that single store. Yeah, acrylics. What I do before I paint with acrylic paint, I spray paint. See on this is just PLA print. And here I was just finishing up some spools, but I spray like a base coat just of a white acrylic paint, just to prime it. Let that dry, and then I use the acrylics to paint. So it's not much of a preparation, so to speak. Of a land area here that didn't get paint. Puts in some paint. Sorry for that. Yeah, thank you. I tried to just do it on the fly, on the model. Like on the palette itself, I blend the colors a little bit, but most of the color blending is just done on the fly on the model itself. It's maybe sometimes gives me a little bit of random results, but that's just fun. I can learn like how colors interact and how, the color theory and everything like that. That's just something I'm finding out as we go. And I have no background in painting or anything like that to really know what I'm doing. Just having fun. Almost done with this one. Yeah, it's an old volcano, this mountain. It has a small glacier on top. Quite some long time ago it erupted. I think it's considered like a cold volcano, so to speak. Not likely to erupt again. If it will, it'll make a mess, melting the glacier and doing a flood. That's not going to be nice, at least for the people that live in the area. There are some people living here at this location, and there's a town here, and I believe another town in this location. Both those towns, or all three towns, are for most part fishermen that go out with their boats and get some fish. This is all done, I think. I think I got a nice summer version of the colors in that area. So on to the next one. This one is a glacier area. It has a big glacier on top. So maybe 1/3 of this area is this glacier. Here, this is in the northwest part of Iceland. There's not much vegetation. It's mostly just small grass and moss, and then the glacier itself. So it's going to be less green. There's some greenery in it, but for most part it's going to be a dark brown or moss green. So start blend a little bit of green with yellow and brown to get the moss color. no inhabitants in this area. It's quite remote. Only way to get here is by boat or walking. No public roads, so to speak. Basically, the only land animal that goes around this area is the Arctic fox. They are native to this area. Then they're just birds. It's far away from farmland for farmers, so there's usually no sheep in this area. Maybe some that got away from the farmland. But for the most part, it's so remote. There's nothing here. Adding a little bit more brown into the mountains to give them more contrast. Tend to go back and forth with adding more green, then again darker colors for the mountains, painting up and down. Mixing up some yellow into the brown as well, just to lighten up the colors a little bit. So adds a little bit of highlights to add the yellow. I'm getting a pretty good color now with yellow and brown to simulate the moss. It's very dominant in this landscape. Light green, light brown moss. There's a little bit of area here. It's a coastline. Paint that in. Yeah, see you, Don. Thanks for joining in. So this white area, that's a glacier called Drangajökull. It's quite big, and I want to paint that white in. I've got the coastline covered. A little bit of green still wet in this area. I have to repaint it after, let it dry. And painting the glacier, I'm putting a little bit of blue with the white paint, just to give it a little bit character. On most parts, like the glaciers, they are a mix of white and blue and black. sand and dirt. And in wintertime, of course, it snows on them, and then it's all white. But like in the summertime, the glacier itself can be quite full of sand and ash from the volcanoes. So it's all not. It's not all just white snow. Like where the rivers are coming under from the glacier, it's usually quite dirty. It has a lot of sand and gravel, so it's brown glacier water. It's not very clear. This area, it's difficult to see in the model where exactly the glacier ends, and so I'm not using a reference photo, so it might be not completely accurate. But I try to follow what I see in the model. This glacier is one of the bigger glaciers in Iceland. To speak, there are quite a number of big glaciers, and this is one of them. And as well, there are a huge number of like tiny glaciers that are not so big, so to speak, but are in mountain tops and in the mountain areas. I have not been on these glaciers. All of the big ones I've traveled to with my search and rescue team, but this is the one that I haven't visited myself. I've been close to it, but not on it. It's quite remote as well, so it's not close by the capital area where I live. No, I think I've done this model justice. I think the glacier is, for most parts, where it should be. Maybe in this area here, it's difficult to see the outline of the actual glacier in the 3D model, but for most parts, I think I got it quite right. This is the thing. I think it's done, this model. Drangajökull. It's quite nice name. So this will be the 4th model, and I'm just gonna step away for a second. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Just had to go to the bathroom real quick. So this is a mountain range in the north part of Iceland. It's close by where I grew up, so I've traveled a lot in this area. It's called Flateyjardalur. quite nice Icelandic name. Might be difficult. Flateyjardalur for you guys. One thing I enjoy about the landscapes, when I give them away to people, I of course write the name of the place on the back of the painting, so people can see what the place is, and people enter that into Google to see where it is. But it's quite funny when people try to pronounce the Icelandic names of the landscapes. It's impossible in some cases because of the Icelandic only letters as well, so people have really no reference on what those letters means. It's all good fun. This area is actually none of this area is habited. There's a small town here in this place, and some farms here and farms here, but like all this area is just grazing grounds for sheep. The mountain areas with some valleys. It's quite good grazing area for this Icelandic sheep. They spend their time here in the summertime. The farmers that live in like this area here and the area below herd the sheep up in the spring with their lambs up in the mountains. They go in the fall, like in September, to collect the sheep, harvest the lambs for meat. So it's a lot of grass in this area. Pretty nice mountaintops as well. It's a quite nice area to travel to. There are roads in this area. You really need a four-wheel drive though. It's not like a concrete asphalt road. It's just a gravel road. Small rivers to cross as well. It's a nice area. So I'm just basically covering every area of the land with green. I'm going to blend in the browns and darker colors for the mountains. I'm a little bit biased, being that I grew up in this area here close by, but I think the best sheep in Iceland are from this area. They taste the best. There are several like farmland areas around Iceland that have a little bit different type of vegetation in their grazing areas, so it's a little bit different taste you can get from the meat based on where in Iceland the sheep is from. It's always a personal preference, of course, and when you're used to the sheep from this area, when you grow up, of course, it's gonna be your favorite. So, like I said, I'm a little bit biased. In some areas, there's more like not as much just plain grass, but also some other types of vegetation. Like some areas there's a little bit of birds, like forest area, and then the sheep eat a little bit of leaves from the trees. Some areas there is more moss and low, not like just grassland. It's all kind of berries and vegetation that is more diverse. So it's in some cases quite different from one area to another. A normal food for the sheep. The lambs that we harvest in the fall, they have never been grass-fed like down in the farm. Usually, they spend their whole life up in the mountain areas, so it's almost like a wild animal, so to speak. It's good meat. There's always a brag, or I don't know, not a brag, but like probably heard that New Zealand creates the best lamb, but we from Iceland want to believe or think that Icelandic lamb is better. So it's like a competition between New Zealand lamb and Icelandic lamb. I think New Zealand has quite similar grazing conditions, the mountain areas, and it's very good grazing areas for sheep in New Zealand. So yellow into the green, following the lower areas with more yellow, pushing it up the mountains. Yeah, hi Thomas. Thanks for tuning in. How are you doing? Painting away landscapes to bring to earth. Chat hasn't been really active for quite a time. Sometimes people just watch it, have it in the background. Brown for the mountains to push that down on mountain tops. Yeah, are you designing a speaker or printing it out from some other design? Yeah, I'm pretty good. I had quite a day yesterday on social media platforms. And today it's a good day. Started the day with a shower and egg and bacon. You can never go wrong with that combo. So most parts, the mountains are just gravel. There's some vegetation going up in the mountains, but like highest peaks are just gravel, dirt. Good, good contrast between the grassland and the mountains. Now to paint in the sea, quite a number of quite big area here with the ocean. It's actually a small island here that I have to put in. Yeah, cool. That's nice. Nice to see when people are designing a solution to their specific needs. That's good. Blend a little bit of white and blue. This part of the ocean is called Eyjafjörður, and this part is called Skjálfandaflói. So you can try to say that, Skjálfandaflói. It's a quite long Icelandic name. here is a small town called Grenivík. It's a small fisherman town. They make a really good dry fish. It's like fish jerky. It's extremely good. Just follow the coastline. Painting in the ocean. This small island here is called Flatey. That basically means flat island. it's really flat. Like 100 years ago, there were some people living in this island. But not anymore. It's no one living in this area anymore. There were some farmers living here maybe 100 years ago or something like that. Quite some long time ago they all moved. It's a lot of snow in this area in the wintertime. It's difficult to live here. Quite a long coastline. I'm trying to concentrate. It's for most part it's obvious because the mountains just go straight into the ocean. There's not much lowland area for most of the coastline. So, just trying not to put blue paint up on the mountain. So now I got the coastline covered on the ocean. I think with this one is done. It's a fourth model I'm doing today, and just one left. And this is called Flateyjardalur and Fjörður, and Eyjafjörður and Skjálfandaflói. That's the names of the in this area. It's a summer version as well. No snow. These small pockets of small glaciers sometimes in these mountains, just tiny glaciers. It's difficult to paint in because they would be so small. But I could put some snow on, but this is like high summer color themed, so I'm gonna leave it at that. On to the next one, I guess. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this landscape is a commission job I got a request from a farmer that lives in this area. He wanted to give his dad a painting of the area, and he had seen my landscapes, and he is actually breeding beef, so I buy my beef directly from him, from his farm, and I was telling him about the landscapes and telling him I could do an area for him. So he sent me like a outline of what area he would like to have included. I exported that out. Gonna paint that. For most parts, this is all farmland, and then is this big mountain here, and then the ocean. As this is quite a small area, so to speak, the height of the mountain is quite high compared to some of the other models, but that's just because the scale is 1:1, and the mountain is a dominant feature in this contained area. So the mountain is quite big compared to the other models. Just gonna start with green and yellow and brown like before. Do summer edition as well with this one. Usually the paintings I do are of a bigger area, so the details are not so dominant. But here I can see in the model, I can see in the 3D model the road that is going through this area. So it's just extremely detailed. See the road in 3D, so to speak. It's quite narrow though, so I'm most likely not gonna paint in the gravel or the asphalt, so to speak, but it's still visible. mixing a little bit more yellow into the green right away, just to get a brighter painting. I can add in a darker green to give it more contrast. The base color is going to be this light version of green. See, now I'm adding a little bit of brown as well into the green, moving up the mountain a little bit. yellow as well to give the mountain more contrast. I think I've got most of the vegetation colors and mountain colors in. Maybe darken the mountain a little bit. Nice contrast. There's a big area of the coastline. Paint blue. Use a bigger brush to cover the area. Then I use a finer brush to follow the coastline. one here. It's a fighter brush to follow the coastline. Adding a little bit of white as well. There's a river here going into the ocean, and it's quite popular river to hunt salmon in it. It's one of the most expensive rivers as well to go catch salmon. So, even people coming from abroad to Iceland to fish in this river. It's a big sport in Iceland, fish. This will be the last model of this live stream. Don't have any more printed out. I'll be bringing, I think, 10 landscapes to Earth. And if you're going to Earth, make sure you find me, and then you can see the models printed. Got a battery low warning on my headset. Wait a minute. Charge it a bit. But I'm just about being done with this. Just gonna put in some more white into the sea to give it a little bit more life. So now I think I'm done with this one. This is the 5th model I'm painting today, and the last one. So this will be it for this stream. Been good fun painting those 5 models. I'm gonna show them all. This is one I was just finishing up. This is an area close by the capital area. It's a farmland called Kjós. There's a farmer there that has cows to create to create meat. It's a meat farm, so to speak. I'm gonna let him have this model and trade it for meat. This is an old volcano with a glacier on top called Snæfellsjökull. Yeah, hi Gisli. This is an area in the west part of Iceland. And there is this one. This is Kinnarfjöll and Kinn. This is an area in north part of Iceland where I grew up. It's close to my heart, this area. I grew up on a farm just here. Just stretching over now with the cable. The fourth one, this is Fjörður and Flatheadalur. It's in the north part of Iceland as well. Like a summer edition of that, all with the greens and grass and sheeps running around. I didn't paint in the sheep, but they are there. And the final one, that's this one. This is Drangajökull. It's a glacier in the northwest part of Iceland, a remote area. Not many people go here. Those were the 5 landscapes I'm doing for this show. So I'll just want to thank you all for watching and hope you enjoyed hanging out, taking part in the chat and whatnot. But for now, I thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.